What's going on? What's going on, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your brother Chief Flying Eagle, man. Hope everybody's doing good. What the deal? I hope you're having an amazing 24 so far. It's cold in New York, but everything is beautiful. Everything is copacetic. Let me make sure I got audio on Facebook. All right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure I got audio on Facebook, man. Where we at? Facebook audio. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Right here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we got audio on Facebook. Man, I just wanted to come on here and just talk to y'all for a minute, man. Nothing really special to share, honestly. Um, whew, I tell you, man, the political atmosphere right now is just so dense and thick. It's not even funny, but I'm just asking our people, man. Listen, let's mind our business. Let's mind our business right now. The left wing and the right wing, they're fighting each other, but they're the same bird. So, with that being said, allow the left wing and the right wing, allow them to fight each other. Like I posted earlier, all right, greetings, Sister Mahogany X. Like I posted earlier, I uploaded a video and I was kind of breaking down, what's happening with, or what took place in the Super Bowl with Kendrick Lamar, right? People see things from a different perspective. Me, I see things from an eagle eye, an eagle perspective. I see it from above, looking down. You feel me? And what I really got is the same message I've been teaching for so long. All right, that everything that happens within the construct of the United States, the corporation, it has nothing to do with us. Yes, it affects us because we allow it to affect us. We have always been a distinct and separate people. Okay, but we wanted to integrate, so to speak. We wanted to be a part of that colonial society, so we fought for that. You feel me? But all the civil rights, it did not start with us. The civil rights started with pale skinned people. They were the ones fighting for civil rights. What our people don't realize is this, right? This internal war between these people, it started way before they got into the Americas, way before that. And even if this has nothing to do with the color of skin or complexion, whatever the case is, shoot, it doesn't even have anything to do with race. Here's the honest truth. This has always been about politics and religion. Politics and religion. It has always been about that. Okay. And so-called pale-skinned people, what people call white today, they are actually afraid. They are afraid. And when people become fearful, they feel like their backs is against the wall, then they become very dangerous. Now, I'll tell you what I mean by that. For those who actually know the truth and are willing to stand on truth, then they wouldn't be a problem. But it's the ones that are miseducated, the ones that were mistaught, the ones who were never told their true story. Let me repeat that. The ones who were told the true story. And what is the true story? The true story is this. In Europe, pale skinned people were ruled by so called black people. Okay? That's a fact. The same way Obama became the president of the United States and became the president of different ethnic groups and different complexions. That's how it was in Europe. And the ruling majority, okay, were so called black people. King James, King Charles, Queen Anne, Queen Charlotte. I mean, I'm even in Germany, even in France. Okay. So pale skinned people know exactly what you're feeling and what you're going through. Because a lot of people think they don't. No, they do. They have a way of disguising it. You feel me? But now that the time for their rule is up, and not just them, the rule of the Europeans completely on our land, whether it's the pale skinned ones, whether it's the so-called black ones, it doesn't make a difference. All right. And you'll realize this, all right, that a lot of so-called black people, they are going to be our biggest challenge. And I'm going to tell you why. Because those were the ones who know their history. They know that they are not from Africa, and they know that they are descendants of these Europeans. Nobody's asking about the Black Britons. Nobody's asking about the Black Irish. Nobody's asking about the Black Germans. Nobody's asking about those people. Where are they? Nobody's talking about the Melungeons. Nobody's talking about them, but they are in our mix. They are slippers in our mix to confuse American Indians by continuously calling them black and letting them think that they're African, because it was their ancestors who literally came here, and they know who they are. So they are amongst us, and we don't realize that. Not every skin folk is kinfolk. You feel me? All the so-called black universities that provided opportunity for so-called Negroes and so-called black people, it were their fathers who put that in place to indoctrinate our people. And I keep telling people, y'all gonna learn. And y'all really think that they were doing this for your benefit because they want us to be educated. No, they did that to brainwash you. That's a fact. You feel me? So they know who they are, and they know who we are. So they'll want you to think that American Indian culture is black culture, because they want you to stay black. Black does not have a culture. How can a color have a culture? A color cannot have a culture. If that's what you truly think, well, let me ask you a question. Where is the culture of green? Where is the culture of purple? Where is the culture of yellow? Where is the culture of orange? But they have gotten us so emotional, so emotionally tied to the whole idea of being black, that we just can't see past anything else. And it's the people that look like us that were put in place to make this happen, because they are the direct descendants of these black Europeans. I taught y'all this years ago. Harriet Tubman was not an African slave. Harriet Tubman was not an American Indian indigenous woman. Harriet Tubman was from Europe. She was a Stuart. Harriet Tubman was from the Highland of Scotland. She was a direct lineage of King James and King Charles. So when she was freeing her people, it wasn't no slaves. No, she was freeing indentured royalty. Because when the war broke out in Europe, and they started, and what you call it, and the shift that started taking place, they sent them into the Americas to escape persecution, but under the guise of being indentured servants. You feel me? And then when the Revolutionary War started in the Americas, going through all those times in the beginning, when things were happening, the 13 colonies was trying to fight to hold on, and they wanted to transform everything into the United States. They knew who her family was, and they were in danger. So she had to protect the bloodline. And our ancestors showed them a path to go to Canada, an underground path to go to Canada. Eventually, y'all gonna learn the truth, man, because I'm teaching it to you, I'm telling it to you, but it's gonna come to light. It's going to come to light. So a lot of these people, they know exactly who they are. And that is the reason why they are pushing these terms on us. They know we're indigenous. They know we are the ones that we call American Indians because it were actually their forefathers and five and fifth, sixth fathers that came here in 1492 to wage war on our people. But it started with the division of their religions. It started off with the Catholic Church, and then they started to, once they started having their own different ideologies, you had the Protestants, you had the Pilgrims, you had the Sephardic Jews, you had all these different type of sects of religious groups, and war was being raged on them in Europe. Therefore, the Americas, our homeland, became a safe haven. It's just so much of European history that people are not learning or we are not being taught. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. The first Republican Party, it came from Europe with these black nobles. The Republican Party started with these black nobles. And everything that transpired on our land, the deal was from the very beginning, we were not supposed to get involved. That's why we have always been protected. We were supposed to be a separate, distinct people. Exactly. All they were doing in Europe was fighting. That's all they were doing. Because it was about power. It was about religious power. It was about political power. You feel me? That was their culture. So because of their nature, whether you call them black or pale is the same thing. They came from the same the same home. When, like I told y'all before, the first pale skin nobility in Europe, I'm talking about for hundreds and hundreds of years, was Queen Victoria in 1901. Okay? In 1901, they were given the throne by the Hanovers. The Hanovers were people of color. The Stuart House were people of color. But it was time for the pale man to rule. And I don't know why is it so hard for our people to realize that this African story is not true. The people who came here, okay, I'm talking about between 1493 and up to the 1600s, the 1700s, these people did not come from Africa. If they came from Africa, they were already in Europe. They did not come from Africa. They came from Europe. They came from Europe, and there's documents to prove that. There are no documents of us coming from Africa. Like I told y'all before, right? We have more of an admixture of Europeans more than Africans. The whole deal was all set up. It was a big conspiracy, a big hoax that was played on our people to make us think that we are African, to make us think that we are black. So these black nobles could literally, they and their children. People think it's the pale man. No, the pale man is just a pawn in the game. Is just a pawn in the game. Where's the black caucus at? I keep asking y'all this. See all of what's going on. Where's the black caucus at? Are they waiting for to take back their place when the republic is established? Because that republic don't belongs to us. It don't belong to us either. Because I gave y'all the succession of how and or the chronology of how everything happened. You feel me? We have always had our own systems, our own governments. We always had that. Then because of all the wars, treaties put in place, but they were more for commercial reasons. We never lost the physical war. We lost the war on paper. So therefore the deal was to create the 13 colonies, but we would still be independent of that jurisdiction because we welcome them. We welcome them into our land. So when treaties were signed with the 13 colonies, it was supposed to be the original indigenous people with their own governments, their own everything. And then the 13 colonies would be the so-called black nobles and their descendants and their servants and their slaves. We had nothing to do with that. Don't confuse a POW who became a servant or a slave to be one who came from Africa. That is just spoils of war. You feel me? That's just what it's called, booty. It's even in the Bible. BOOTY, booty of war, spoils of war. That's what we became. You dig? So when they started dumping the pale-skinned people out here in the Americas, they came from being ruled by so-called black people in Europe. So when they got dumped into the Americas, they came here as servants and slaves like everybody else that came from Europe. But then it was about greed. So instead of the Europeans working together, the so-called black Dutch, the so-called black French, the black Bretons, instead of them working together, they got greedy and came into the Americas. Now they brought their beef from across the seas into our land, turning our indigenous tribes against each other. That is what happened. And those are the same people that's fighting today in these governments. The only difference is the complexion changed, the players changed. It is really that simple. While the republic, this is why when you pledge allegiance to the republic, to the United States and the republic for which it stands. So where's the republic at? If you're pledging allegiance to two countries and one is dominant, where's the other one at? The other one had to go to sleep so that the pale man could actually rule. He was given the throne. He didn't fight for the throne. And like I told y'all before, the only time the pale man fought for anything was in World War I, because that, and you want to know what it was really about? It was about them using our help to go into different parts of the world to free their people and bring them back into the United States. But would they teach you that? No, they're not going to teach you that. Yet still, we were still supposed to be a sovereign people, governing our own bodies, be autonomous, our own economy. We had all of that. All the plantation, what you call plantation, a plantation is literally planting seeds. A plantation is an estate. We owned those plantations. Don't let nobody fool you, talking about you were slaves on planet. No, we knew how to work our land. We have always done that all over the Americas because it's our land. They will not tell you about the 600 crops or plants that were sent into Africa. They will not tell you that. So we don't have to turn this against Africans. We don't have to turn this against natives. We ain't got to turn this against so-called white people. We ain't got to do that. All we have to do is focus on our business, restoring our birthright. That's what we need to focus on. Let the left and the right fight. You let them fight. They've always done that. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. They brought that from, their young world, because we are the old world. Okay? They brought it from across the seas, and they brought their beef into our land. So therefore, I told you everything has to be reversed. So what's going to happen now? The corporation has to fall back and allow the republic to step up. Our people now going to think that that's going to work out better for them because they don't realize what's happening. So the same way we had our indigenous governments, it went from our indigenous governments to the 13th Republic, still having our own governments. Then we had to be pushed to the side become dominant. I mean, not dominant, but become basically irrelevant, so to speak. All right. So the Iroquois Confederacy became irrelevant to a certain point. Not that it had no value or it had no significance. That's not what it meant. Because of the prophecy, we had to fall back because the pale man had to rule. So the 13 colonies would eventually become the United States while you still pledging allegiance, okay? And not you as in American Indians. We weren't supposed to pledge allegiance to any of those, whether it was the Republic or whether it was the corporation, United States. No, we were always supposed to be a separate people. Always, Indians not taxed. So we should not be pledging allegiance to either of them. Because what's going to happen is, like I said before, the corporation has to fall down or fall back and then allow the republic to step up. But when the republic step up, we may be tricked into thinking that it's our republic. No, it's not our republic. It still belongs to the pale skinned people and the so-called Black Europeans. The only difference is the so-called Black Europeans will start showing their faces when the republic step back up. More of them going to show their faces, and you're really going to see who's behind all of this. Now, I keep telling y'all I'm always ahead of my time, but watch. Watch it happen. Okay? And we are going to think it's for us. No, but the ultimate goal is always to make sure that the American Indians, they never get back in power, because we are the only ones who could create laws on our land. Nobody else could do that but us. They will have what you call a legal system with their codes, their statutes, ordinances, their bills, and their acts. That's all they are allowed to do on our land. We should not be subjected to any of those things. The reason why we are subjected to it is because you keep calling yourself Black and African American, and they're doing it on purpose, even the ones who look like us, because they are descendants of these Black Europeans. And they're setting up their republic. Now, it would happen, it's going to happen, and then eventually the republic has to fall, okay, or fall back and allow the indigenous people, the natural people, the organic people of the land to finally rise. And that's when the Americas will be great again. So it's really up to us. It's really up to us to determine how long that's going to take. It's really up to us. We could change the dynamics of how things were put in place, because we are the true authors of our reality. We are the true directors of our reality. We are our own producers of our reality. Even if things are by design. So slowly but surely, people are waking up, but we're going to meet more resistance, especially from people who look like us. Pale-skinned people will not come to us and tell us we are not American Indians. The majority of the pushback is going to come from people who look like us. And of course, these natives, because they were the ones who put the natives in place anyway, the Black Europeans. People think this is a game, man. And the truth of the matter is, it is a game. We were just never taught how to play it. So that's facts. All right. So be very mindful and stay sharp. Keep your eyes open. Watch people move. Listen to what they say. Anybody, and just imagine this, right? Even if you think you're from Africa, Africa have countries. Pick a country. They're using the word black to entrap us. That's what they're doing. It's a game. It's a vice. It's a device that's being used to keep us in the position that we're in. That's the only reason why they're doing it. They know exactly where they're from. They know if they're the Black Britons. They know if they're the Black Germans, the Black Irish, the Black Scot. They know all of this. I'm telling you, there's records. There's records of all these people that came here in 1492. How is that they can't show us record of the slave ships? But there's records of them coming in. I guarantee you that. And like I told you before, in the late 1700s, they changed the calendar into a Gregorian calendar to take us through a time warp, to literally erase our memories. Y'all think this is a game, right? Ada Kadabra. And we went to sleep. It's black magic. It may sound like, a fictional movie. I'm telling you, it may sound like a conspiracy theory, but this is real. It's real. You think your memory can't be erased? Y'all think this is a game, huh? Man, I'm telling you, man. And it doesn't matter what you tell a sum of all people, they're not gonna get it. And that's just the honest truth. All right. And the agents who were put in place, they know exactly what they are doing. You feel me? So keep that in mind. So all of you who are actually American Indians, think you're from Africa. Go to Africa and see what happens. Africa is not your home. You think a man like Umar Johnson, who claimed to be so educational, who claimed to have all these degrees and he's a doctor in this and a doctor in that. Why do you think Umar keep pushing you as being black and African? Do you think it's a coincidence? No. Umar know who he is. He know where his people came from. Umar was just born here, like every other native. But most likely Umar's family is from those black Europeans. They know who they are. And that's their goal, to keep you black and African American, because they are actually part of the colonization society. But the truth will come out. The truth will come out because they have to tell you the truth. Their true colors will be exposed. I can't tell you exactly when, but I know it's going to happen. They all have to show their faces. And a lot of y'all are going to be brokenhearted to know that you got people in your family, all right, that's part of that so-called black European descent, and making you think you're African because they have to play the game. They have to play the game. It's a big game. And the biggest trick was played on us. Okay? And cognitive dissonance is always kicking in. It doesn't matter what you show people who are actually American Indians. They're indigenous to this land. But it doesn't matter what you show them, because of indoctrination, they will hurt you for telling them that they are not black or African American. You feel me? So, my advice to all of us who know who we are, let us allow these people to do them, whether they are pale skinned people, whether they are black people, or whether they are African American. Let them be. The only sad part is the majority of us that call ourselves black or African American, we are actually indigenous. 95% of us, all over the Americas. All over the Americas. It's funny how they want to tell Haitians they're from Africa, but yet still, Haiti had a so-called black queen, a brown-skinned copper woman, a queen in 1474, Queen Akanoa. So where did she come from? And here's the truth. They ruled, literally, their empire was all through Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, part of the Carolinas. Okay? They governed the West Indies. That's what it was. Yes, the Haitians. But a lot of you don't know this. But like I said, it will all come to light. It will. because the ancestors, they're alive. Trust me, they're alive. They just transition in the flesh, but they're alive. And they know that the time is right and the time is now. And y'all going to see some things happening. And I keep telling everybody, okay? Of course, Queen Charlotte was a so-called black noble of Europe. Of course, she had 15 children. You feel me? But like I tell everybody, every tongue will confess and every knee will bow. And just watch it happen. Okay? And y'all could go all the way back, go to all my videos, and you'll be like, wow, Chief has been consistent all this time, telling us everything that's happening, what's going to happen, and now it's happening. And here they are telling us that we are the original people. It's going to come out. Because you guys will only believe when they tell you. A lot of you. And even when they tell you, you're still going to be in doubt, still going to be in denial, because you think that you came from Africa when the truth of the matter is, even not even Africans are from Africa. That's the funny thing. Not even Africans are from Africa. Oh my goodness. Y'all, oh man, y'all don't even know. Africans migrated into Africa. But you know what? That's a whole different story. I'm gonna leave that alone. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, guys, man, listen, I love y'all. I'm having such an amazing, 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 amazing continuation. My 24 is so beautiful. You know, I just had a meeting, and I'm not gonna say with whom because I know a lot of you out there, you know, and I'm not talking about, you know, my people, you know yourself. So that's not directed at you. But I know a lot of people out there, you know, even some of them that even call themselves indigenous or American Indian. You know what I mean? They just don't want to see Chief do things to uplift our people because they have some type of personal vendetta against me. People I don't even know. But you know, jealousy is a tough pill to swallow. Envy is a tough pill to swallow. You feel me? So I'm just gonna leave it as that. But I had an amazing meeting. Very productive. And all I'm just telling you, just watch me move. Watch me move on behalf of my people. You see, I've always told people they don't know who I am, but they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn. Soon enough, the ancestors will let you know who I am. Just watch. Okay? Every day I lay my head down and I ask them for anything. Anything. I need clarification on anything. Guess what? They give it to me. And it's amazing. I love y'all too. All right. So we making moves and we coming because they know who we are. All we have to do is show up. All right. And watch. They cannot deny, they will not deny because they know. They know. So let's allow the left wing and the right wing to do what they do. And all these so-called black people that want to come up against us, we know who they are. They are descendants of these black Europeans that came here to fight us from the very beginning. The war started with them, it's going to end with them. It's really that simple. It started with them, it's going to end with them. And now the pale man is going to be is the one that's going to be caught in the middle. And he's going to have to choose side. And guess whose side he's going to choose? He's going to choose our side. You know why? Because they know what they went through with these black nobles in Europe. And they are afraid. They have fear in their heart. They don't want to go back there. Mark my words and watch it manifest. Pay attention. You're going to see a lot of pale skinned people start standing up for being black because some of them are still confused. So they just call everybody black or African American. But pretty soon they will start differentiating. And that's when things are really gonna start getting heated. Because now once it break out, they're gonna have to choose sides. Either they're gonna choose the sides of the original people, which they know will always be righteous, or they're gonna choose sides of the people who brought them here, the black nobles who brought them here. Like I told y'all before, the pale man never enslaved us in our land. We were not prisoners of war of the pale man. We were prisoners of war of the so-called black Europeans that came from Europe. Okay. And yes, some of our ancestors did sell out. It's the only reason why they were able to get into those treaties and change treaties and ratify treaties, because a lot of our chiefs sold out. That's just facts. It is what it is. But like I told y'all before, it was supposed to happen. There's a reason why it happened. And I explained all of that in my book, Gene Insists to Reevaluation. So you could go to mynichi.com, it's right on the screen, and go look it up. Gene Insists to Reevaluation. Everything is in there. All right. So y'all enjoy the rest of your continuation, man. I'm about to get me a little something to eat. Well, actually, well, when I say get me something to eat, I bought some seeded grapes earlier, so I'm gonna have some of that. I'm gonna have some coconut water, and I'm just gonna continue to thank our ancestors for such a productive day and them just looking out. You know what I mean? So we'll talk soon. Y'all take care of yourselves and stay focused. Mind your business. For those of us who know who we are, continue to walk in that light and don't listen to the noise. Keep your head straight. Okay? Keep your head on the prize. It's really that simple. Y'all enjoy. Take care.